Hi everybody, it's Gnomes here, or Naomi with Tokyo Creations. And this is my art journal channel, and today I'm playing my Art by Marlene artist size journal with some Art by Marlene products. I'm using the Artsy paper pack and the collage pack from the Out of This World range. So I'm just ripping some corners off here because I just wanted those in the corners, and I'm adhering it with gel matte medium, and I'm putting that underneath and over the top with my catalyst tool, which is like a rubber spatula kind of thing. It just makes it go on a bit more evenly and smooth, and I'm putting it over the top as well because I'm going to be going over the top with some acrylic paint. And I've just picked a stamp from the Bold Butterflies pack, I think it is. I'll link all the products underneath. And I'm using some embossing ink in the top there with some Ranger white embossing powder. And then I'm setting it using my embossing heat gun. And I'm just doing that again, twice in the middle. I didn't re-ink because it was just to add a bit of texture and a bit of extra detail to the background. So I didn't really care if it was perfect. I didn't need the writing to be read. It was just for the texture. So I've set that now. I'm being so good and cleaning up as I go. And I'm just going in with some Art by Marlene acrylic paints. And here I'm using Happy. I started to water it down and then decided it wasn't, I didn't like the watered down look, so I went back in over the top to make the colours more bold. And you'll see I'm using a baby wipe throughout this process here. I'm just taking off the acrylic paint off the top of the embossed ink, embossing powder, just so that those words stand out. And because the paint dries so quickly, it doesn't actually come off the paper, it just comes off the embossed powder. And I'm only very lightly touching it there, just giving it a bit of a dry. And because there was a lot of liquid on there, sometimes the pages can just curl a little bit, so they're quite easy to flatten out. You just bend them around in the corners and they can take quite a bit of liquid. So I'm going in here. Previous colour was Mermaid and this one's Smurf. And now I'm using the Neon Wow. And I'm loving how it's giving, because my paintbrush I haven't washed in between, it's giving a nice neon green look there, which I just thought was great. I loved the colour that it created. I've decided my background was going to be cool tones, and that's because the image I picked was pink, and I wanted it to be something, the background to be colours on the opposite side of the colour wheel so that the focal points stuck out more. So I'm just going over the top again, just filling in those gaps. And I don't care that the leaves, like I haven't actually painted on the leaves of the flowers. I actually find that I do that a lot with different things, butterflies. But when you add your details with your pens and stuff, having half a leaf one colour or half a wing one colour and half another colour actually makes it look really cool. So I don't really not really thinking about where I'm putting my colour. I'm just getting it on the page and blending it in. And of course taking the paint off the wording there. And I'm just cutting out my focal point. These paper packs are great for these little images, and I'll keep the excess because I'll use it as collage paper in the background, or I'll cut some circles or some shapes out of it, stamp on it, and use it for another page. It doesn't go to waste. So I'm just working out where I'm going to position him. And then I'm using my mark making set in the Essentials range, and I'm just putting some details in some of the leaves of the flowers. And I start with black archival ink, and then I change to blue just for something different. You can't really see it that much on the screen, but it's definitely there. And this one's quite, I went back with the black, this one's quite out there, but it doesn't matter because it just adds a bit of image inside of those leaves. And then I decided that I was going to use more of the Essentials range, but I didn't want to use archival ink. So I've gone back in with a Smurf, and I'm just stamping at the edges where the collage paper ends, just to try and blend the edges in. And I love stamping with paint. It's not as easy to clean off your stamps, but it just gives a really, I don't know, gives a cool effect and blends it in with your page when you're using colours. And I'm just added a bit of water to make a wash, and just adding some paint splatters and flicks in those same spots where I just put the stamp. And I'm just drying it off here because I'm about to go in with my paint pens, and a very good tip that most art journals will tell you is your page needs to be completely dry before you go in with your paint pens, otherwise you'll ruin them. So I'm just picking a quote here out of the black and white sticky quotes from the Artsy Arabia pack. I love this pack. I use it all the time. It's got black and white of the same quotes, so you can use them in different pages. I thought I'd put it on the back of this, the collage paper excess that I had there, ripped, and then I decided I didn't like it ripped, so I'm cutting it straight and just giving it a little frame there. And then I'm going to stick that on with the glue pen, Up by Marlene glue pen. Great little pen. Nice and easy. It doesn't seem to ever clog for me. So it's a great pen, paint pen. And I'm just going in with a black Stabilo All pencil here. Just makes the focal image pop. And I'm just now activating that with water in my brush pen. I'm not really sure what that brush pen's called, but I call it a brush pen. It just makes the image pop off the page and make it, look like it's standing out, and blending in as well as standing out, if that makes sense. And again with a quote. And now I'm coming in with my paint pens. I've got the Life of Colour pens and Posca paint pens. I end up using all of them, but the Posca paint pen is the one I'm going with because of the thickness of it. And I'm just going around the collage paper. I was going to keep that black and white, but I decided I'm not very good with black, with just white space, so I added the colour and going around with the paint pen to keep those shapes. And the good thing about the Art by Marlene acrylic paint is that it can be semi-translucent, so I can still see the flowers. And I'm going in here in the black parts. I was going to paint that black, but I decided to add mark making with my Life is Colour paint pens. And this is my favourite part. Filling in all the little details. And I'm just going in with a white ballpoint pen, just adding some details, going over the lines, just to make it look like it was part of the page and not stuck on there, giving him highlighting a few details. And then I'm using the pitch paint from Art by Marlene to just create a border just with my finger. I always like to have a border on my pages. Doesn't always black. It's not always black, but that's what I love about these paints is that you can use them straight out of the tube. And one of my favourite things to do is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing dots and lines inside the flowers. I think it makes the flowers pop. I'm using the wow here and gives texture because it dries like puffy. It doesn't sink down. And yeah, it's one of my favourite things to do with the paints at the moment. I kind of do it on all the pages, and I'm doing it again here with the lace across his hat there and in his leaves, feathers as well. So thank you for watching. I think I'm almost finished. No, I needed some white paint splatters. Very new to having a YouTube channel, so I thank you for watching, and I hope it gave you some ideas and inspiration. If you liked what you saw, if you could give us a like and subscribe so you see what future things I have. I've nearly finished one of my very first journals, so I'm going to do a flick through soon. So thank you again for watching.